All right, episode 3 and 4. This is the one that I am most excited to hear people's opinions on because it changed the most from the manga. And I adore that for it. The choice to change pretty much everything of the setting and tone into more of a mystery thriller. I'm very, very biased, but I am a huge thriller fan. So the lighting, the enclosed space, trapped with the bad guy in the house, locked in. I loved all those changes and choices, but we kept the heart and soul of what this arc was meant to accomplish. Setting up Usopp, setting him up as a liar and a coward, but willing, always, always, always willing to stand up and fight for his friends and not abandon them, even when he is terrified. Looking at Luffy and putting him up against an experienced captain and rejecting everything about him, whereas before we've seen him interact with Shanks and take the parts of him that he respected and incorporating that into how he views what a captain should be, and now he's seeing what a captain shouldn't be. And I could have used a little bit more of the not trusting crewmates for Koro and being like, oh, you're willing to just toss your friends and crewmates aside. No, I reject this as a way someone should act. I could have used a little bit more of that, but it was there. I adore every single change that was made to this arc, and these couple chapters of this arc. And I really, really want to hear if you guys like that changes, or would you preferred it stuck more to what was going on in the manga? Because it was a big tonal shift, a huge tonal shift. Full disclosure, when everything was coming out for the show and the trailers and everything like that, I was very much on the Usopp does not have a long nose. I do not like this change. Like, I was not expecting accurate proportions to the manga or the anime, but I would have preferred if they did some kind of prosthetic, just like to add an inch, half inch to his nose, just to be subtly, very subtly even, longer than average, enough to draw your attention to. And I get they couldn't do that, or not that they couldn't do that. A, it would be an unnecessary thing to spend money and budget on, and B, it'd be annoying for the actor to have to do that for the entire series, assuming they make it. I'm really, really hopeful that they make it further into the series. I'm so excited to see what they do. Season 2 is confirmed. But the reason I wanted that little nod to the character design is just part of the joy of One Piece is Oda's art style. It's so unique and purposefully drawn to be this style that I wanted to see little tiny elements of it brought to the live action. A homage to it, a little respect of this crazy world that you're in. And again, didn't need to be outright insane long, just a little thing to say, hey, we know, we try, we got a little bit brought into the real world. Because when you get later in the series, and if I'm praying they make it later in the series, everything is just so over the top and crazy and whimsical and blown out of proportion that I'm just like, I want to see how they're going to adapt that. I can't imagine Frankie without his arms, basically. I can't imagine some of these characters without the proportions that they are. And if that's not at least hinted at, just like using a little bit of forced perspective, using some prosthetics, using something to hint at what their character design looks at in the manga, then I'll be disappointed. I will. I didn't need Usopp specifically to have the longer nose. I just thought it'd be a good benchmark to see if that's something that they prioritized for in the future. So they did here, there's a chance they'll do it in the future. I didn't need it for Usopp, but in the East Blue, when things are more or less normal besides the fishmen, I thought that would be a good tester for it. But that's a rant or a side tangent we don't really need to have. I adored these 2 episodes so very much. I adored seeing Usopp as a little kid and always ringing the bell and saying the pirates are coming and no one believing him. I do not like the fact we didn't get a moment later on with the villagers being like, oh, it's already whatever, it's early morning, where's Usopp? Why haven't I started my day to him screaming that the pirates are coming? He does this every day or at a certain time of week. Like, where's Usopp? Where'd he go? Like, they come to expect and enjoy that element of their life. And I miss the fact that that wasn't included. That's my probably only negative complaint for these 2 episodes. We have Luffy on the ship with the Jolly Roger. Seeing him draw his Jolly Roger, it was a delight. We have Nami doing the sailing and more secrets with her as they take in water and her little small snail phone thing is destroyed. But I love when Zoro sees the Jolly Roger that he's just like, that's not scary. It's like, we can't be the Straw Hat Pirates. That doesn't strike fear into anyone. Like Demon, because Zoro Hunter's a demon, that strikes fear into people. And Luffy's just like, why do pirates have to be scary? And this consistent narrative throughout the series of Luffy being a different type of pirate. He just wants adventure. He's not in it to hurt anybody. And Nami realizing that not all pirates are the same and seeing that through Luffy and what a good person he is. I love that. So for him to say, we're the Straw Hat Crew, that doesn't need to be a scary name. Why do pirates have to be scary? It was just a nice little choice, and I love it. I love that we're getting more Garp, Kobe, and Helmut Bow. I love these boys. I'm angry at Garp, though. Recent chapters, I'm mad at Garp again. Garp is back on my list, I'm sorry. But I love seeing them, introducing them earlier in the series. Such a good choice. Following them more, such a good choice. I love that Helmeppo's being called a nepotism baby kind of thing, and Kobe is just like tying ropes and taking advantage of everything he's learned from his time with Alvida and her crew. And Garp recognizes this. He may be using Kobe to get to Luffy because he knows that there's a connection there. But he takes him under his wing. He teaches him like strategy. It is not the type of training we get in the manga, which is disappointing, but like I'll take what I can get. Would have preferred the training from the manga. We also don't get quite the same reason that Helmeppo and Kobe become friends eventually, but that's okay. I like how they did in the series. It works for the series. They're not the main focal point, obviously. Oh, I just love Kobe. My sweet boy, my darling boy. He's just overthinking everything. He's got to learn not to overthink anything and trust himself and his instincts. Oh, and he's just an honest boy. I think my only other negative complaint and it only happens a few times in the beginning, they got this weird, like, fish eye force perspective. I don't know what the hell kind of cameras they're using when Luffy and Zoro, Nami, and them get to the island. But I don't like it at all. I feel this works if, like, the characters have been drugged, not just walking down the streets. It's a very weird camera angle effect to it. I love that we're introducing the fishmen earlier, and they're playing in with Buggy. They've kidnapped him, so him and Arlong have to make some kind of deal to hunt in the Straw Hats to get the map, or see what's going on there, because Arlong already got a plan for the map. It just introducing these characters makes it feel a lot more purposeful. It feels less episodic. Like previous events don't sound like standalone adventures the way it did in the manga. It took me a while to get invested in the manga just because it was just plop beat, plop beat. I didn't know about the world building to come, so it felt very standalone at first, and then gradually you've seen the overarching narrative and how this built the world and the importance of each individual arc. But going through it the first time, they didn't really feel connected to each other the way I would want. But here in the series, they do a good job at setting up what happened in the past, why it's affecting what's going on in the future or present. Between setting up Axham Morgan and now with Koro, with Arlong and Buggy, they're all playing into each other. So I love that choice for the series. At this point in the series, I wasn't unhappy with the Fishman's design. I'm pretty sure they're practical effects, which is a fantastic choice. Always a good choice to do practical. But I feel like CGI is used to enhance things. Like, you can't do so much that it overshadows, and you can't do so little that it just looks really rough and unfinished. I feel it did not meet that happy medium at all. Something's just a little tiny off-putting. I'll go more into that when we get to actual Fishman Islands, because the strike has left me not to film these thoughts right away. I have rewatched the episodes now recently, but I haven't rewatched Erlong Park yet, so I need to get a revibe on how I felt about the Fishman. But it wasn't overall positive. It wasn't bad. It was kind of medium. Back to the crew, Luffy is refusing to steal a ship because the ship is their home and they're going to be honest and someone is going to give them that because they're going to respect their need for adventure and want to help them out. And Nami's like, you're an idiot. What the hell kind of pirate are you? She's never met a pirate like Luffy. And he's just like, nope, this is how it's going to go. So he goes off. Nami looks to Zoro and is just like, figure out what kind of security they have because we're going to have to steal a ship. And they go off. We see the Mary in all her beauty glory. I love the Mary. It took me like half a second when the trailer was released to get over the design of it. I'm just like, oh, that's not what I expected. I love it. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It's an angel. I love this ship. I love this ship. I love this ship. And it, again, another fantastic choice to have Usopp working in the shipyard to give some experience on how he sort of knows how to patch up the ship, even though that wasn't his job. He's like removing barnacles, but he's been at least exposed and has some experience in the shipyard that he can do mild repairs. He has a further attachment to this boat rather than it was just a gift from Kaya. Like, he's been on here a long time, so I like that choice as well. When Usopp brings them to Kaya's home to talk about buying or her giving them a ship, because we both know they don't have any money, that's when I realized how big of a change this episode was going to be. You could feel the tone shift into adventure, into more mystery thriller vibe slowly creeping in. Kaya is, of course, so happy to see him. I loved him sneaking in through the hidden passageways of the servants' quarters or something, hallways, and telling her these grand adventures, and like the goldfish and the island of poop. And even later at the dinner, he's telling a story about eating dragon, and Luffy's like, do you have any dragon? The servants are like, no, we're fresh out. And I'm just thinking, you'll get dragon one day, sir. And I love it. I love it. All these little moments when Luffy gets poisons later on, I'm just like, that actually might come in handy in the future. And I'm so... little tiny moments. So good. Everyone dressing up for the dinner. Nami, of course, looking fantastic. Her unapologetic hatred for the rich. Kuro, there we go. We're not doing Kuro Sensei. Kuro. Black Cat Pirate pushing up his glasses. Just that one little moment. Oh, it's so, I love these little scenes so much. I will say we didn't, in the manga, I've always felt that Kuro was just, had some kind of admiration for Kaya's parents. Just the parents, only the parents didn't care for her, but something about a dynamic relationship there, because he had said, like, them dying was not part of his plan, or something like that. And then they die in, I think it was the boat in the manga as well, an accident, or some kind of accident like that. And I almost want to say if they had survived, he would have changed his plan. He wouldn't have done it. He would have been content as a butler. I don't know why I got that vibe from the manga. It is probably dead wrong. But here you don't get as much respect towards the parents. And I almost miss it. It's not needed. I don't know why I got that vibe from the manga, but I just did. And when it wasn't here, I was mildly-ish annoyed, but that's not an actual complaint. We got a couple little moments of Zoro saying, hey, you look really familiar, because of course he's seen him on a bounty poster, but he can't quite place him. And then the reveal of the cat pirates with the claws and the pussyfooting around technique, and again using his wrist to push up his glasses so his claws doesn't stab him in the eye, and killing Mary. Mary dies. So rude. Just so many good moments. The lighting in this scene, the horror-ish, thriller-ish, mystery-ish kind of element of it. Oh, it was a delight. This entire section of the story is gorgeous. I love the lighting with Buggy's story so much. This is above and beyond. I am a sucker for good lighting. If a show has good lighting, I think I can ignore everything else. I adore Nami going through with a pillowcase, stealing a bunch of stuff, and she ends up in Kaya's room, who's just like, oh, Nami, you're here. And she's like, I got turned around looking for the bathroom. And Kaya's just being like, with a pillowcase full of heirlooms and stuff. And she's like, it's fine, you can have it. And they bond. Them chatting and getting to know each other, and neither one of them wanting pity from the other. and Kai being like, don't treat me like I'm breakable, and or don't pity me, and Nami being like, fine, I won't. Don't you treat me like a charity case. And she's like, fine, we're good. And they just bond. That's a moment I didn't know I needed, and I love it. I'm so happy that was included. I love when Nami leaves, Kai's just like, don't forget your pillowcase. And she takes the stuff and she ends up returning. I'm assuming some of it, probably not all, but I love this little moment between them so much. And then you have Usopp and Luffy and Zoro in the kitchen, who we get Usopp setting up his sharpshooter with the slingshot techniques. We get Luffy again eating and getting himself poisoned, and it's so good when Usopp mentions his father, Yasop, and Luffy is just like, I know him. He's on Shanks's crew. He's been telling me stories, and Usopp doesn't know how to take that because his father has been spending time with some other kid, and he doesn't know if he should be happy, sad, disappointed, and that could have been held on a little bit more, but it doesn't really need to be. Oh, it's so good, so good. When Mary gets killed, Usopp has to run, and he tries to go for help, and he's screaming the pirates are coming again. No one believes him. He goes to the Marines, so Helmet, Bow, and Kobe end up coming because they also hear Luffy is there. And again, they don't believe him that this Kuro is the Black Cat pirate because, well, Helmet Bow's dad, Axeham Morgan, is responsible for killing him, so clearly this is a lie. And Kuro ends up giving them Luffy's unconscious body that's supposedly dying. Well, they think he's just like drunk. Really, he's dying from poison. And Usopp gets to Kaya saying, we have to get out of here. But she doesn't believe him either. And he's like, I can run or I can't. No, running is not an option. I'm not going to leave you alone because he will stay with his friends. Usopp's character in this arc was done so well, in my opinion. I adore it. We didn't set up his crew members, which is a little unfortunate, but that's okay. They didn't need to be introduced. Oh, also didn't get Janka, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Zoro, this man was born to play Zoro. Like, between the fights and the depiction of like him in the well having his Batman moment, climbing out of there, cutting back and forth between the well and his past with Kuina, how you pronounce her name. I do feel that the child actor for Zoro was kind of overacting, but we'll give that as bratty teenager trying to show off and probably thinks he's better than he is. Big fish, small pond kind of vibes. That's fine. And them fighting and coming to respect each other and vowing to become one of them be the world's greatest swordsman. So upon her death, he takes her sword and it's just like, with this, you will be with me. And I will complete our dream for the both of us. Delight. Beautiful. But I do have a complaint. The dialogue when Kuina's just like, one day because I'm a woman, you'll be physically stronger than me, I won't be able to beat you. And Zoro's like, the hell, the reason I'm going to beat you is because I'm going to get stronger than you, not because you're a woman. The dialogue needed to be there. It's very important for both their characters, but it felt so forced. I don't know if it's the exact dialogue that was used in the manga, but it's close enough that I feel like it's like, okay, we have to include this somewhere, and we can fit it in right there. This is where it needs to go, rather than the story that we're telling for the live action organically getting to that point. It felt forced in, which I don't like and will become a huge problem later on in the series and my biggest disappointment. But again, we'll get to that when we get to those episodes. But again, I would have preferred somehow the story to work it in a little bit more organically rather than it feeling shoehorned in. Hopefully that's just a me thing that it felt like that. Oh, another thing, because I'm pretty sure this is anime only. I don't think I got this vibe from the manga. In the anime, when I watched this originally, I was convinced that Kuina's father killed her didn't want to give the dojo to a woman or something like that. And there is no vibes of that whatsoever in the live action. Again, I don't think there's any vibes of it in the manga either. But I wanted to see it. The childhood Jessica does not believe that he did not kill her. Full disclosure for how I've watched One Piece, I watched like a couple episodes, probably up to around Syrup Village, if not before there, when I was watching Naruto in like, grade 6. I might have made it. No, I don't think I made it any further the second time I attempted to watch this in high school. And then in undergrad, I made it to Arlong Park, and that's as far as I ever made it. And then when I started this journey here on YouTube, that is when I fully picked up the series and am now current with the manga, and it has been the greatest time ever. I love this series so very much. I cannot watch the anime, I'm sorry. But the manga, beautiful, love it, highly recommend. Nami is hiding in a cupboard, and then she knocks out one of the Black Cat pirates and gets to Usopp and Kaya and reconfirms his story. So now Kaya believes them, and the house gets locked down by Kuro. So they're trying to survive. The lighting, the tone, the hunt, it all flawless. Such a good vibe and tone for this episode. You get you get Luffy coming to with the Marines, and he tells pretty much Kobe, "No, I'm going back. I need to save my friends. You want to be a good person. You want to help the innocent. Kaya's innocent. You have to let me go." But Kobe kind of overthinks everything. He's like, "No, I'm not." And then Luffy gets serious, and he's like, "You don't want to cross me. You don't want to get in my way when I'm trying to protect my friends." I love serious Luffy. We turn around and Zoro has knocked all the other Marines out and is like, "Oh, how'd you find me?" And Zoro's just like, "I didn't. I thought I was going back to the house, went the wrong way." And I love that. I love it so much. Oh, Zoro's already getting lost, and it's perfect. It is perfect. I love that scene. So Luffy comes, he saves Kaya, Nami, and Usopp just in time, and they have their fight, and Koro's just like Kuro is like going around the outside, being like trying to intimidate Luffy, saying, "I was a pirate for years, and there was always someone coming after me. You can't even trust your own crew." And Luffy's like, "I will always trust my crew. We are a team. We are a family. You don't know what you're talking about. You gave up on your dreams. You don't even deserve to call yourself a pirate." And finally, Luffy says, like, "I'm done talking. I'm going to be listening." And he's hearing the little movement of the shoes and finally able to take him out. The Gum Gum Bell, the execution. Luffy is a cartoon character, and the actor does a good job bringing him to life. It's hard. It's really, really hard to bring this character and make it seem fine in live action, but I don't think anyone else could have done as good a job as what this actor has done. I'm pleased, but at the same time, bringing Luffy to live action is a huge ask. It's not perfect, but it's definitely good. He feels like Luffy. Some of the mannerisms could use a little bit of work to make it feel more natural, but that'll come with time. I have no genuine complaints with this performance. He got the goofy, he's got the optimistic, he's got the serious, and it'll all come together perfectly. Hopefully in season 2 it'll be even better, but I love how this show knows where to focus, when to take Luffy serious, when to let him be goofy, when to be optimistic, and the fight scenes. I got no genuine complaints. Luffy once again brings up being a pirate is not about plunder. It's about freedom and adventure. I love that he's bringing up freedom specifically. It's so good. It's so good. Kaya at the end gives them the Mary, and Luffy has this grin on his face as he looks to Nami. I'm so happy we have our home now, but also I told you so. And Nami's just like, "I can't believe I have to live in a world where you're right." It's so good. Lighting, the fighting. We had Zoro being like, "Sorry about the mess. You gotta get some new servants," as he's opening up the doors and the place is unlocked. We get them at the boatyard, and they're like, "Usopp, aren't you coming with us?" And Usopp's like, I can't leave Syrup Village. I can't leave Kaya. And Kaya's just like, "It's time I take care of myself. You go, you have your adventures, and I want to hear the true story of Captain Usopp." And it's so sweet, and they kiss, and I'm like, okay. I'm it's fine, whatever. But she wants to go be a doctor. He's going to go and become a brave warrior of the sea and someday return to them. I am a little bit anxious now for him to return to his village to tell all these stories and what they believe, because he'll have some proof now. Like, he's on wanted posters. He's in the newspaper. His pirate captain that he sails under is we're not going to go into spoilers for the manga. And then, when I thought things could not possibly get better, they're on the Mary, they're sailing away. Usopp shows the Jolly Roger he's made, and they're bickering back and forth because Usopp wants to be the captain, Luffy's the captain, there's the Straw Hat Pirates, and everyone's just laughing and enjoying each other's company and being together and sailing and adventuring. And then Garp shows up throwing cannonballs at the ship, and Luffy's just like, Grandpa? And everyone's just like, Grandpa! And I'm like, oh, it's so good. I wish I didn't know that, because that would be just a fun moment to experience with the live action. But, oh, it's so good. I loved it when it showed up in the manga, so I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Overall, I think this is my favorite in terms of what they... No, Buggy's. Buggy's still my favorite. Buggy's scene in episode 2 was flawless. That's my favorite episode. It has to be. It is. It just is. Buggy's episode. But this was very good in them willing to change the tone, change the story, still get across the heart and soul of everything. And again, beautiful lighting, excellent acting. I wish so much they were willing to stick to changing things to better suit the narrative and constraints of live action and a television series. Because again, pretty much the final 2 episodes, maybe a little bit in the third to last as well, I feel they were constrained with these are such big moments in the manga and anime, and we have to do it exactly like it is in those, but we're doing it in live action, and it just does not hold up or come across the same way. But, so I wish they were more willing to change the important stuff later on as well, to keep a good tone and enjoyment for this series, to make it its own thing. But at the same time, I'm happy to see moments in live action. But we'll get to that in the next 2 episodes and in the final video of my full thoughts. So please tell me what you thought of these 2 episodes. Are you happy with the changes? Are you upset? Did you want to see them on the beach? Did you want to see them get stuck in the sticky stuff, whatever it was that Usopp had? Did you want to see them running through a forest? Do you miss Django? Just let me know. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. Interesting. Fishman. Showing up for Buggy. Erlong wants a word with Buggy. We're not stealing a ship. What kind of pirate are you? Pitch that spiel to the salesman. They'll believe you. They'll give you one. Exactly. I really love Zora. I love his voice. I love the hair. I love the swords. I really love Zora. Nami's hair's still bugging me. Oh, he's found the Mary. Oh, he's found the Mary! And she's beautiful, and he's happy. And it has a soul and a spirit, or at least it will soon, with fairy thing. That's his boat. That's his boat now. Shogi? Yeah. Okay, now I just want to watch Shikamaru play either of these 2. I want it. You're not welcome here and you know it. I know nothing of the sort. Yep. I'm a sucker for him pushing up those glasses. Must stay for dinner. Luffy. Yes. Mention the giant goldfish! I don't care if that tea is poisonous. It's like glowing blue and I want it. A+ music. Garp training Kobe on how to think strategically and not overthink things. You won! Oh, this is a good boy. Swift hand. Punch of love. Where's Erlong? I don't like his nose. What do you think, Maven? Okay, I can see Erlong wanting to get involved for anyone trying to pull a big job in his seas, waters he thinks he runs. That makes sense. Kaya's asking Nami if she ever lost anyone close to her. Nami says no. God, she's a good liar. Zoro's going for wine. Alright, he got Kaya's totally not poison soup. And he's drinking it all. Okay, Luffy doesn't get immune to poison to many arcs later, so maybe we're fast forwarding and he'll get poison immunity sooner. Oh, going to trip over Mary. He's fine. Stabbed, but fine. We're going full on jazz music right now. I love it. Kobe's showing up to Syrup Village awful early. Well, I can't stop there. I need the next episode. Okay, Mary is not fine. Between the lighting and the music, love this episode. Scratching the good wallpaper. Those some flimsy walls. Zoro using two swords as a little kid. Yeah, and Quina takes him down, no problem. Two swords not enough. Maybe you should have brought more. All I'm thinking is, which one of these is the main character? Everyone dressed the exact same with the same color hair and everything, or the one with green hair? I'm never going to be able to look at clouds in one piece without hoping someone's going to split them. Pointing a gun at Luffy. Come on now. How stupid can you be? Here comes Zoro. Don't threaten my captain. Hey, haircut. Oh, just knocks him right out. Luffy's feeling better. He got lost. He found Luffy thinking he's heading back to the house. That sound though, like he's running the claws over, I don't know if it was a harp or what the hell it was. Dramatic, like it's bordering on like horror elements, just suspenseful wise. Maiden, is it better than the anime manga for how they handled this scene? I don't want to say that, but I think I like this more than the fight at the beach. You've been poisoning her. Why are you saying she's pathetic and not doing anything when you're the reason she's held up in that house? I can't get over the lighting in this episode. I am a sucker for good lighting. Apparently that's all I need. Don't care about anything else. If it's got good lighting, I'm entertained. Oh, Kaya's got a knife. Well, she did pull a gun on him in the show, so... Just A+ choreography for the sword fights. These are my friends. You don't get to mess with them. Love Luffy. You'll never get a peaceful night's rest because someone's always waiting to slit your throat. Luffy's never had a bad night's sleep in his life. Well, aside from a couple really bad moments. But for the most part, he's confident the crew will take care of him. And now he's saying about how crewmates are expendable and he's killed them. Luffy's not going to take that well. Look at the echoing laugh and everything. I punched him in the face. I love seeing Luffy punch people in the face. You didn't plan for that, did ya? Oh! It's gonna be smooth sailing. No, sweetie, no, sweetie. And there comes the cannonballs. Okay, but is Garp gonna throw a cannonball?